I want to go now to U.S. Congressman from New Jersey and co-chair of the House Pro-Life Caucus, Chris Smith. Congressman, what was your reaction when you found out this Supreme Court draft opinion had been leaked? And what was the reaction of your colleagues on Capitol Hill?
Well, both my wife and I, my staff, and my colleagues are all extremely encouraged that Justice Alito has penned a magnificent reversal of Roe versus Wade. Hopefully, that's what the final product will be. Of course, we all would like to have personhood recognized by the court, but empowering legislators at the state level and federal to protect unborn children and their mothers from the violence of abortion. It's been 50 years of judicial tyranny on this, so finally we'll be able to legislate.
I want to play for you something Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts said on hearing about this leaked opinion. She was a little riled.
This is what the Republicans have been working toward this day for decades. They have been out there plotting, carefully cultivating these Supreme Court justices so they could have a majority on the bench who would accomplish something that the majority of Americans do not want. I am here because I am angry, and I am here because the United States Congress can change all of this. Yes.
Congressman Smith, can the Congress change all of it? And assuming the document mirrors that draft, what options do Congress really have here?
Well, Raymond, this is an engraved invitation to legislate, and that goes both ways. I mean, I'm very concerned that last September, the House passed the Abortion on Demand Act until birth. Every Democrat except for Henry Cuellar voted for it, and on the Senate will be taking that up maybe as early as Wednesday of next week. So we're dealing with an opportunity on the pro-abortion side to provide abortion on demand till birth and to eviscerate, as the House bill does, all of the modest restrictions like women's right to know laws, parental notification statutes, all of those that have been put into place as a very modest effort to protect life. All of those would be swept away. So we are still in a very dangerous zone. My own state, under Governor Murphy, passed a law that allows for abortion right up at the moment of birth. And he's looking potentially to do even more. We know Colorado did the same, and other states. There are 18 states that automatically will protect their lives of the unborn if this goes through. And then there's another 20 plus that have pro-abortion statutes. But again, this is a new phase. It's not the end. It's the beginning of a national debate on abortion. And for the first time ever, the child will be paramount. Of course, we love the women, we care for the women, but we will finally begin to look at what is being done by the deed of abortion, dismembering, chemically poisoning an unborn child, often with great pain suffered by the little child.
Congressman, Elizabeth Warren and others on Congress are calling to codify Roe v. Wade. Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont tweeted, Congress must pass legislation that codifies Roe v. Wade as the law of the land in the country now. And if there aren't 60 votes in the Senate to do it, and there are not, we must end the filibuster to pass it with 50 votes. Now, Democratic Senators Joe Manchin of West Virginia, Kristen Sinema of Arizona have already said they will uphold the filibuster in the wake of this leak opinion. What can Congress really do once the Supreme Court decision's final? And the reason I ask it again is, wouldn't the High Court just strike down any attempt to reestablish a federal right, a federal cram down of abortion from Congress or otherwise?
Interesting question. Not sure what the court would do. Not even sure if Alito's leaked draft will be the final product, final opinion issued by the Supreme Court. But again, the other side, and watching, I think it's tragic watching the senator melt down as she did just a moment ago on your clip. There has been an extremism on the part of the pro-abortion movement where all of these children are persona non grata. They are expendable, they're throwaways, there's so much junk. If they're wanted, okay. But if they're unwanted or inconvenient, they could be killed through a terrible process of dismemberment.
A Catholic church in Boulder, Colorado was vandalized, Congressman, by pro-choice advocates following this leak. Churches have often been targets of pro-choice extremists in the past. Pro-abortion activists are planning protests now in Catholic churches on Mother's Day, and they're planning visits to Supreme Court justices' homes next week. What do you make of this kind of activism? And do you expect we'll see more of it before the final opinion emerges?
Well, I don't believe that this kind of so-called activism, which I think will increasingly trend towards violence. I mean, let's look what they support. They support completely decimating an unborn child's life. Other acts of violence are right in line with what they are capable of doing. I have long predicted that when we got to the point where Roe versus Wade was about to be or was reversed, that we would see a spate of that kind of activity. The church has been strong. Thank God the church has been strong in defending life, and pro-life lawmakers all over the country, in Congress and in legislatures. This is the time to demonstrate our courage, our commitment, and frankly, our willingness to protect the weakest and most vulnerable among us. And that includes the woman who is the co-victim in these abortions. You know, my wife and I know so many women who are post-abortive. They need our help as well. Unfortunately, the abortion movement is not there when the consequences set in after the abortion. We are.
Congressman Smith, before I let you go, I've spoken to a number of Democratic strategists, and certainly I've seen statements from senators, congressmen who are Democrats. It seems as if this is a rallying cry, or they see it as a rallying cry going into these midterm elections, that we will defend your right to an abortion. Do you think that plays with the citizen on the street, especially given the tensions and pressures they're under and that this economy is under?
Great question. You know, Raymond, the polls have consistently showed that people want significant restrictions. The Marist poll showed that 71% of the people in America want restrictions on abortion. The percentage of Americans who want unfettered right to kill an unborn baby is infinitesimal compared to the majority opinion. I do believe that our side, the church, people who are pro-life, and those who will now throw their hat in the ring and become strong as well and speak out, we must redouble our efforts. This is the national debate on abortion, which was precluded to a large extent by the Supreme Court and by the lower courts for 50 years. There will be no constitutional right to abortion. So it is an open invitation to protect those children. But we need to rally. We need to make sure that the candidates are vetted when they're running, either party, as to how they stand on this all-important issue of life.
Congressman Chris Smith, thank you for being here. We'll check in with you in the days ahead.